So today we're going to be testing out on the Mercedes the first Labocosmetica product, which is Idrosave. Idrosave is a polymer rinseless wash that is pH neutral. This is a 250 ml bottle. You dilute it 200 to 1. So in my 1 liter Rinseless sprayer, I put about 5 milliliters of product, which doesn't really seem like a lot, but it's enough. I'm also going to mix up a bucket, my Yeti bucket that I use for Rinseless, which I have right here. My bucket is 5 gallons, 200 to 1 is about a half an ounce per gallon. So the bucket isn't full. We'll do about 2 ounces of product. Which is a lot. So, you know, I've used about a quarter of this bottle. Well, that being said, obviously you can use less water to do this. Normally you mix up your bucket first, you fill your spray bottle from that bucket. I was just kind of messing around here with it a little bit earlier. I wanted to see how it worked. And we're gonna test it together on camera though. So this is a Rinseless Industry Ergo 1000. It is probably my favorite sprayer for Rinseless. Very close second would be my Solo sprayer I have that's floating around here somewhere. I use that quite a bit. I've been doing a lot of rinseless car washing lately using an Armor Detail Supply product called Hero. So you may have seen me do those on camera before. Hero is currently my favorite rinseless. At this point I have tested DIY Detail, I've tested Absolute, I've tested McKee's, I've tested O&R, I've tested, I don't know, a bunch of different rinseless products. And Hero is currently my favorite. Now, DIY Detail did just come out with a rinseless version 2. I have not tried that yet, so I will at some point get my hands on that. I have some lines that I have to go through for the first time before I'm, you know, focusing on my second pass on some lines of products. But DIY Detail, their whole thing is rinseless, so I'm sure it's really good. And I've watched a couple YouTubers that I respect, like Mike G, and I believe Eddie Cologne did a test on it as well, and they said it was pretty good, so I'm sure that it is pretty good. For the wash media today, I'm going to be using this. This is the Phoenix EOD sponge. You can see that it's got that waffle cut pattern, which allows it to have dirt drop out and not get, not scratch your paint. So we'll be testing this out. First initial, you know, the bottle is relatively small, which is kind of cool if you want to try something out. I know that they do make all kinds of different size bottles for Labocosmetica. Idrosave is available as a 250 ml, a 1 liter, and a 4.5 liter. The 250 ml is about 12 bucks. I used about a quarter of the bottle, so it's about $3 to wash your car the way that I'm doing it, which honestly is really wasteful. I could probably use about half the product and be effective, just being honest. So it's probably about $1.50 wash. From a cost perspective, it's pretty in line with Hero, which I was just talking about. A gallon of Hero is 64 bucks, 256 to 1. A 4.5 liter, which is actually like 1.2 gallons of Idrosave, is right around the same price, but it's obviously diluted a little bit less. Not that the difference between 200 and 256 is significant, but well, I guess it's 20%. So, first impressions, Slickness seems good. The smell isn't really noticeable. There is a smell to it. The smell is pleasant, but I'm not really like noticing it as I'm using it, unless I'm, you know, getting the sponge near my face. A lot of the others, Hero, Absolute, they have smells that are very noticeable when you're using the products. But for some of us like that, some of us don't. And that's okay. We all have different preferences. Again, I realize I'm using quite a bit of product. I kind of prefer that. I mean, you can use a lot less of a rinseless than what I am and have it be effective. I like the safety net of a little bit more liquid, or at least I have the perception of a little bit more safety when I'm using more liquid. So that's why I kind of default to that. Like I mentioned, obviously you can use far less product. I will still have, you know, half a bucket when I'm done. So I've covered the whole car at this point. Dry the car off using a Rag Company gauntlet, 16 by 27. Seems to wipe off easily. I've got a couple spots where there's a little bit of water spotting, but they do rub right off. So this might not be a great direct sunlight type of product because the parts where it has kind of dried, like this back window right here, you kind of have to get it wet again to get it to wipe off. So maybe if you did let it dry in sunlight or start to dry in sunlight, you would just spray over the top of it before you dry it off to, you know, just kind of reactivate it. It seems like everything that's getting a little bit of wet is coming right off really easily. So this might be a little bit better as a one panel at a time kind of product, which I can say that for other rinselesses as well. I don't think that that's a knock against it. It's got really good slickness, actually. It is a polymer rinseless, meaning that it does have some sort of protection in it. It does, you can definitely feel that it's slippery. I don't really need a drying aid to give me that slickness that I enjoy. So that's kind of nice. It could be a one-step process that you don't really need to worry about going over it with another product while you're drying. I will do a panel or two with drying aid just to test the compatibility, but you know, this car had OG drying aid on it beforehand. I'm not really running into any issues getting it off, so I would reason that they're compatible. This door is my last panel. I have OG drying aid here. This is undiluted. So let's test and see how it does with that. This is my favorite drying aid. I know other people use other products. I tried a couple different ones over the years. This has always been my favorite. Well, pretty much since it came out. I was bead maker before that. So that does work very well. Let's test. Yeah, the slickness is similar between the drying aid panel and the non-drying aid panel. Maybe the drying aid is a little bit slipperier, but it's pretty close. I could very easily just do a car with the Idrosave and not follow it up with a drying aid. I'm not sure about the durability of the polymer. Most rinseless car washes, they want the polymer to be non-durable, meaning that the wax or protection, whatever it is, the ceramic, comes off easily, so that if you're using a rinseless and you're following it up with a paint correction, you don't have to worry about the car having protection on it that you then need to beat down in order to do what you're trying to do. So I'm going to try to give you a good view of kind of what I'm talking about. Here on this, you see these little, there's like streaks, a couple spots they almost look like a haziness. There's a couple spots here as well. Like if you sprayed something on the car and allowed it to dry, for example. Well, this is the first panel that I did, and these spots were kind of left behind when I was wiping it off. Now, it's not difficult to deal with those, but I don't typically have them with Hero, or at least I typically am able to just kind of wipe Hero off. So here I just took a little bit of drying aid on this towel. You could probably also use the Rinseless. Well, I know you could use the Rinseless on the towel as well, and just go over it a second time, and it wipes right off. And I'm sure it's just a little bit of the embedded dirt being left behind in a, a dried circle of liquid. But it's not something that I typically have to chase with Hero or with the DIY detail products, so that's kind of why I'm mentioning it. It's really easily apparent on the black. You kind of have to notice the silver at an angle because it's pretty similar in color to the silver paint, but there are a couple of spots. All right, so Idrosave. It's effective. It works reasonably well. It's not my favorite, just being honest. The scent is pleasant. It is certainly not overwhelming. Like I said, I didn't really notice it when I was using it. I noticed it when I was pouring it out of the bottle and into my sprayer or into my bucket for mixing. Dilution ratio at 200:1 is pretty on par with a lot of the other brands. McKee's, Hero, a lot of the others that I've used, they're all 256:1. DIY Details 256:1. So this is a little bit more, use a little bit more product of Idrosave than you do for some of the others. I like that it comes in a 250 ml bottle as like a trial size kind of. Like they have a 1 liter and they have a 4.5 liter, which is a little over a gallon. So if you do like the product and you want to continue using it, you can buy it in bulk and you can save yourself some money. But if you just want to try something out, it's 12 bucks to get a 250 ml bottle. You can use this and you could probably wash 8 to 10 cars with it. Like I said, I made a bunch of it and I was, sitting here kind of messing around with it. I did a pretty small car with it, but I still have 3 gallons in my bucket. My sprayer is almost empty, so I've probably gone through about 1.5 gallons and I used quite a bit of product. So, I would say that you could definitely make it last you quite a while. At my dilution and my usage, it's about $3 to wash this car. You could probably get below $1 pretty easily. It's on par with a lot of the other brands. So, Armor Detail Supply Hero is my current favorite. I guess I don't have a bottle sitting behind me, but Armor Detail Supply is currently my favorite. They have a bottle that's this size, a 16-ounce bottle, which is about 500 ml, and that is about $18. So less than twice the price of this, but twice the product. The 1 gallons are pretty close in price. The Armor Detail Supply is like 65 and the Idrosave is like 62. Idrosave, you get 1.2 gallons of product. Armor Detail Supply, you get 1 gallon of product, but Armor Detail Supply is 256:1 and this is 200:1. So it's about the same amount of like total volume of mixture that you're going to end up with at the end of the day using it at those recommended dilutions. I would say it's probably 4th, something thereabouts. My favorite by a long shot right now is Hero. DIY Detail I would say is 2nd, and it's pretty close with Absolute. I like both of those products fairly well. McKee's I don't really love as a rinseless for a car. I don't like that it doesn't have a lot of slickness or polymer in it. That's just my personal feelings about it. I like McKee's for cleaning countertops and for cleaning, monitors and electronic equipment and cabinets and stuff like that that are inside my garage. So I use it more as a household cleaner and less as a car cleaner. I could definitely use it. I could definitely, pick the bottle up. I could use it. I'm not upset about using it. It worked well. I didn't have any problems with it really. I had a couple little spots that were left behind. I did leave it to dwell on the car for a little bit longer than I normally do because I'm recording a video and I've got a couple other things going on. Dogs interrupted me here for a minute. But I think that it's overall good product, just not my favorite. I'd recommend Hero over this. If you're interested in trying it, I don't know that you'll be disappointed. It's not a bad product. We're going to be going through more Labocosmetica as time goes on. I have about 20 bottles in there of different products, so we'll be figuring out the next videos and working through them. I do also have Monkey Head, Renew, Phoenix EOD, and Maniac, a couple other brands as well to work through. Hopefully you're having a great day. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.